Hello everyone, it's so good to be here again. I just came back from the cinema after seeing One Life, a true story adaptation of a pretty remarkable story that I'll be honest with you, I didn't actually know about. Indeed, there are so many World War II stories that are worthy of capturing on film and immortalizing forevermore. Because these truly are monumental and heroic moments of humanity coming together to help each other out in times of extreme crisis. So this is a story of a London broker named Nicholas Winton, who basically orchestrated this incredible endeavor of rescuing as many children out of Prague as possible. And mind you, this is happening just before the war started. We knew that the invasion of the Nazis was imminent, and there was an incredible amount of refugees, mostly of Jewish descent, of course. In any case, many of these refugees found themselves in Prague, which is where Nicholas Winton found himself duty-bound to do everything in his power to help out. And of course, there's so many remarkable moments within this story, but I think one of the most remarkable moments that stood out to me was when someone asked him, would normal people even care to help us out in these kind of situations? Well, he answered, I'm an ordinary person. Basically, everyone sitting at the table here, we're all ordinary people. So actually, yeah, I do believe in ordinary people being willing to help us out in this kind of incredible situation. And indeed, people did come. But my God, was there so much effort put into it. Though a lot of this is history, yes, I don't want to go too much in detail because as always, I don't want to spoil the adventure of the film for you folks. But one thing worth noting is that we have two timelines going on. One of these timelines, of course, is happening back in 1939, both in Prague and in London. This really was a joint effort of many people, and I do want to quickly shout out Helena Bonham Carter's performance here as Winton's mother, who doesn't have all that much screen time, but she totally steals the scene every time she's there. I think my favorite moment is when she politely tells the visa manager, I don't know if that's the right title, but let's use that for simplicity's sake, when she politely tells him to sit down and let me explain something to you, young man. Yeah, she did a great job there. And also the mother just schooling her own child about being a good person. My God, a mother has all the reason in the world to be proud of her son when he goes so far above and beyond the call to duty. But indeed, there's this one timeline here in Prague, but we also spend a decent amount of time 50 years later, where Nicholas Winton is played by none other than Anthony Hopkins, as you may have guessed by the cover of the film, who, yes, of course, is quite the titan of an actor. As you can expect, he has a very powerful and nuanced delivery to each of his scenes. Though I will say that, frankly, this is where I struggle the most with the film. Not that I find that this dual dynamic of the film doesn't have its pertinence, but I do find the way that the film weaves in and out of both timelines, it does add a little bit of friction to the pacing and the tone of the film. It does feel rather disjointed and like we have two completely separate films over here. There are some very interesting topics explored in 1989, but I do find that it robs some of the steam and power of some of the scenes happening in 1939, which are so pressing and dire, and I feel that an entire film could have been made on just that. But even so, this is a very powerful and touching film, and a story that I'm happy that I was exposed to, because once again, I wasn't aware of it, and indeed, that's where film can be such a powerful tool to resurrect these kind of super vital and inspiring stories. It is, of course, on one hand horrifying, but also incredibly galvanizing and uplifting to see people really just give everything of themselves to do the best they can to help as many people as they possibly can. Even though it's obviously going to be impossible to save all the children from Prague, which is something that clearly weighs heavily on Winton's soul. And of course, Anthony Hopkins is perfectly placed as an actor to deliver these kind of very silent but brooding, and you feel the weight of regret just filling the empty space. So I'm ranging anywhere between a 7 and 8 out of 10. Once again, I do find that some of the tonal shifts don't work quite as well as they could have, but even though it fumbles every now and then, this is still quite a remarkable film, and I do highly recommend it, and I easily recommend it if you are interested in these kind of World War II stories. So with that being said, wishing you and your loved ones nothing but the best. Talk to you very soon.